Hi, this is Adam. I just want to quickly show something that I've been learning how to do that we should all be at least somewhat good at. I'm going to take the example of the wonderful large data files that the Deportation Data Project has been obtaining using the Freedom of Information Act from ICE. They've gotten basically every one of ICE's detention stays from September 2023 through the middle of October 2025, returned to them as records, and you can download these here. I will just right click. You know how to download from a web browser. This is not the fun part. I'm just going to grab a copy of this. I'm going to save it, and I'm just going to make a new folder on my desktop. I'm going to call it, I don't know, detention. And I'm just going to save that huge Excel file from that FOIA request here. And now I've got a file called detention stays latest inside my detention folder, just to show you what it looks like. It's information about every single detainee. It's basically an Excel file with 672,000 rows, which is going to take a minute maybe to open up. Okay, so that took most of a minute, but now we have this giant Excel file. If you go all the way to the bottom without blowing your computer's mind, you can see we're down in the row 671,000. This is all individuals who have been in ICE detention between September of 2023 and October 15th, 2025. You can see here there is a departure country, basically the country to which they were deported if they were indeed deported from ICE detention. A citizenship country, basically the country that they're citizens of. And usually they're deported to their citizenship country, right? But not always. Why don't we get a total for every month in this data set of people who are deported to a country that is not their own, and then the destination countries listed for each month? How can we do that quickly from a table with 672,000 rows? Here's how we'll do it. There is a free program that Microsoft makes that you can download on Windows and on Mac called VS Code, and that's what I have open here. VS is Visual Studio Code. Open folder, and I just made that folder on my desktop called detention, so I'm going to open that folder. It has the one file, the gigantic Excel file in it, right? There it is, up here in the left. The thing about VS Code is it has a plugin for Claude, which is it's second to ChatGPT, but it's a very frequently used AI program. Claude really specializes in working with code. And I'm not going to do scary things with code here, but we're going to ask it to do something. Down here, there's just a little chat box that I'm going to start typing. This folder has a giant Excel file with the name of the file there. It shows more than 670,000 stays in ICE detention between September 2023 and October 15th, 2025. This may be too much information to give the AI, but you're going to have that much less of a chance of getting a weird result if you give it a lot of information. I would like to know how many people each month were deported to a country that is not their country of citizenship. The country of deportation is in the column departure country. The country of citizenship is in the column citizenship country. And the date it occurred is in the column departed date. We need to focus on cases in which the departure country does not match the citizenship country. Please turn this Excel table into a database and use a script to generate an HTML file. I like HTML because you can read it in your browser rather than trying to navigate around a table. With a table showing each month in columns and each departure country or destination, or rather totals each destination country in rows. All right, I'm just trying to make the language as clear as possible. I think that should probably do it. Let's see what happens. So Claude Code starts working. I'll help you process this Excel file. It's examining the Excel file right now. It's going to ask permission to do some basic commands so that it can, for instance, look at the file. It's very security conscious. It's not going to do things on your computer without your permission. So it wants to read the Excel file. I'm going to say yes. You sort of have to stand by to keep saying yes to things. Excuse me. And once again, so it is now working to create a database out of the Excel file. It is going to use a free format called SQLite. If you ever get hung up with this stuff, you can usually just ask an AI. It will walk you through, like if you get a weird error message or something, it'll walk you through what's happening. Great. So it has now created the database. It is now writing a script that's going to ask the database the questions necessary to figure out where people have been deported to countries that are not their citizenship country. It's writing a Python script right now. Look, it's almost written it already. I'm going to say, yes, please save that to my disk. That's a script that is basically, your computer will run the script and it will look over that huge Excel file, which is now a database, and pull out all the cases of people who were deported to a country that is not their own. It looks like it's running the script already, so it's already thinking this through. It might take a minute or two. While we're talking, only apps I've used so far, well, obviously Excel and the web browser in order to view the table and to download it. But VS Code, Visual Studio Code, and Claude with the Claude Code plugin to VS Code. Okay, that took about 2.5 minutes, but it did do it. It's claiming that it found 14,749 cases of people who were deported to a country that was not their own, with 163 different destination countries. That sounds surprising to me, but let's see what happens. It created in that folder, that detention folder, a new file called deportationreport.html. Why don't I just drop that on my web browser and see what it looks like? Wow, that's a huge table. Can I sort this by total? No, I'm going to make some changes to it, but you can see a lot of people got sent to Canada, which I guess makes sense because there was a safe third country agreement with Canada. A lot of people sent to Honduras, and a heck of a lot of people sent to Mexico, 7,243. Now, those numbers look more or less right. I am going to, actually, there's not much left to ask it to do. I might ask it to make the column headers sortable, because I don't really need Afghanistan on top. This is very useful. I like to give positive feedback so it knows that it did a good job and it should continue to work the way it's working. Would it be possible to make the column headers sortable? It really just needs to add a bit of JavaScript to the HTML file. It's making little changes to the script. It's regenerating the HTML file, and it says that it's been already done. So let's see. I'll just drag it onto my browser. Look at that. So now you can sort every month and see what country had the most in a month, or I really want to see the overall total. And there's your top destination countries for people deported to third countries. So I'm kind of curious, like what third country people were they sending to Venezuela? I'd like to know that too. I'm going to have to ask it to do something else. The resulting HTML table raised some questions. What is it? 142 non-Venezuelan citizens sent to Venezuela. Could you please query the database and generate an HTML table showing by country citizenship? Actually, I should say by month and countries. By country of citizenship, all of the people, non-Venezuelan people whose citizenship country is not Venezuela, but whose departure country. All right, let's see how that works. Interesting. So, all right, it's given me an HTML file, but I like this summary too. Of the 142 non-Venezuelan citizens, nearly half were from Colombia. Most were from elsewhere in Latin America. I wonder if they were spouses or dual citizen children or something like that. Anyway, let's see what the table looks like, which is that new folder file that they put over here. I'm just going to drag it onto my browser icon and open up a new window. And yeah, you can see I'll sort by total. Yeah, most are Colombian, followed by Peru, Ecuador, and yeah, you see a lot of gathering in the months of the Trump administration, starting in 2025. But really, yeah, that's interesting. Nothing between December and April. But yes, it is a thing that people who are not Venezuelan do get sent on some of those planes to Venezuela. So that shows you, in just a few minutes, you can take those enormous Excel files or other data sets and query them pretty quickly using Claude Code and have them in a format that you can use pretty easily. I like the HTML tables because I can just grab them and copy and paste them into Excel or something like that. But these also, you can sort of screenshot them and put them in social media posts and things like that. You can just ask for them to be in Excel format or make a graphic out of them or whatever you'd like. That's it.